Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I'm continuing to work on Junk Journal January 2025, hosted by Meg Journals. And today's prompt is bright. So when I thought of the word bright, a couple of things came to mind, like bright colors, bright like the sun, bright like a light bulb. And so I thought, well, okay, let's run with one of those things. So again, I always like to walk through my craft room and come up with stuff that I already have in my stash. I don't want to have to print off anything or go buy anything for this challenge. And so, the easiest one for me to do for bright was I was thinking of bright colors. So yesterday we had done the fragile page. So I'm going to work on the back of this page for today. And so this paper is still kind of delicate and fragile, so I know I'm going to need to layer something on it. But what I came across in my craft room was the first thing I came across was this little journal card that came out of a scrapbooking paper pad that had tulips on it. And since this is kind of a rough, small little theme that's running through my journal with the tulips, I had to add it. It has the brighter colors on it, so it does work for me for this theme, I think, for today. And then I did go ahead and sew around the edges already. So I knew I wanted to start with that. And then the other thing that I had, just that I recently got in my stash, was this little bag. It's very bright colored pink, and my mom gave it to me, and I don't know if it came from her or my sister. Sometimes they save me things like this when they get other gifts in them or things that they think I can use in my journals. They save them for me. So again, I'm not sure if it came from my mom or my sister, because my mom was here a few days ago and had kind of a pile of stuff for me. So I'm thinking, normally I probably would have maybe attached it to the page and used it as a pocket, but I really don't want the bright pink showing on the other side. So I think what I'm going to do, or maybe I would have folded it into a journal too and used it like a tuck spot like this. I could have done that too. But what I think I'm going to do today is I'm just going to cut out and just use some of this paper because it's very bright. Normally if I were doing some other things with it, like a shabby chic swap, I probably would have put like a layer of gesso or something over it just to make it not so bright. I usually don't craft a lot with bright colors unless I'm crafting for somebody else or creating something for somebody else that really enjoys bright colors. I probably did more bright colors early on when I started rubber stamping, but I've, several years into it. And I started rubber stamping and making cards when I was 18. And so now I'm 50, so that's how long I've been paper crafting at any rate. So I'm going to lay this down, I think, on the page. I'm going to take my paper trimmer, though, and trim the edges. So I still have some bright colored stuff in my stash from way back when, but I've kind of found that I really like doing the shabby chic and the vintage style stuff. So that's more what I do nowadays for crafting. And I'm going to cut off this edge too. I just don't like how I cut it. So I'm just checking out the other edges. This one needs to be trimmed just a little bit too. So you guys will have to let me know, kind of how long you've been creating art and crafting. Said I started a long time ago with just rubber stamping, was kind of my main thing, making cards, and then an occasional scrapbook page. So I still am going to need to cut this down. I guess I should have looked at that a little bit more because it's going to be too long. So, and I could just glue it down, but that adds more bulk to the spine right there, so I'm not going to do that. I could just glue it on to the next page too, but let's just make a little mark here. And I can cut that down. So yeah, just curious how long you guys have been creating art and what you started doing. If you're still doing, if you just started right away with making junk journals, or if this is kind of what you fell into. I know for me, I started making junk journals because all of a sudden, you know, YouTube was out there and I ran across a video recommendation, and it was on a junk journal, and I thought, well, that's kind of interesting, just because, you know, I always had so many paper scraps left over from my card making, and I thought, well, that'd be a perfect way to use them up and not necessarily have to worry about what that the papers match 100% or they came from the same paper collection or whatever. So that was kind of my appeal, or my start for junk journaling, is it gave me an opportunity to use scrapbooking papers and card making papers that were left over, and I didn't feel like I had to throw them in the garbage if I wasn't going to use them on another card. So, all right. So I did decide to round the edges just a little bit on that one. And let me find a paper I can use for gluing. So I kind of have an idea for this today. It's just going to be a little belly band, I think. And then that tulip card that I showed you guys, I'm going to just use that as a tuck spot. Or an image in the tuck spot in the belly band. My journals, I probably add tuck spots more than I do anything else. I was thinking about that today when I was trying to think of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted this bright pink paper, and I knew I wanted the tulip journal card that I had, but I was like, I've added a couple of tuck spots already, and I'm sure I'll add more. Or flips too. That was the other thing, is I like to add lots of little flips in mine. So, I thought about just flipping this open, but I've already done that a few times. So I thought, well, I know we did one belly band, but I was thinking on this one, I did also find some bright yellow paper, scrapbooking paper in my craft stash that, this one has yellow on it. So I thought it would probably work. And I was thinking, and so I cut it, the paper strip, it was a little bit longer than this, and I cut it at an angle so that I could fit it on the page. And I maybe should have put this higher up, but that's okay. Just to make it look a little more even up there. But so I was thinking I could stick this up there. It'd be a tuck spot. And then I'll add a piece of trim, or I have some washi tape here too in a bright pink color. And then I've been taking the class is done now, but I had pulled out some magazines the other day. I've been taking a mixed media class with Catherine Rains, and we were using some stuff from magazines, but I came across this one a couple of days ago, and I had already looked at the prompts ahead of time, and I just thought this one just stood out to me. This one came from a Magnolia Journal magazine, and it just said, what brighter possibility are you choosing to believe for your own life? So I thought maybe we could cut these words up and then glue them down here, just to add a little extra something. So, that's kind of a good journal prompt. If you're looking for a journal prompt for today, that would be a perfect one to journal on. So the first thing I'm going to do then is to go ahead and glue down this belly band. I don't make belly bands this way too often. Usually I'm more horizontal or vertical, but I do like these ones that are angled, and I was looking at some old journals the other day, and I'm like, oh, I need to put that into a journal again. So that's how I decided to add this one today. I was like, oh, I haven't done an angled one in a long time. So, and then I think for this, I had this pretty trim that I got it in a swap. And I think Judy gave it to me. So for some reason, Judy, you're watching my channel. Thank you for that. I don't know that she watches. I think, she comments on my stuff on Facebook, but I don't know if she watches very often. She's more into shabby chic stuff. So I don't really suspect that she's watching this one. But she gifted this to me in a swap, and I've been using it every now and again. It's just such pretty trim. So I think that's kind of cute. It adds just a little extra detail. And you know, guys know me. I like my eyelash trim or laces or just any type of trim. So even though it's a brighter layout, at least I can add, you know, an element that I really like. So this one does have some brighter pink on it. So that works. And then before I forget, I know the other day I almost forgot about stamping. So today is day number 18, bright. So I'm going to just stamp my number 18 on this journal card. So if I stamp, this goes in here. You know, I'm thinking I need to put it in the bottom right hand corner just so you can see it. I could put it on the page too, but I think I'm going to put it on the journal card. So hopefully it fits, or maybe I will just put it above the word tulip. I think it doesn't quite fit to the right, so it's very subtle now that it's over there, but you can still kind of see it, so I think it'll work. And then since I dug out this bright washi tape, let's just add a little bit of that on the back side. Something I don't use very often is the washi tape in my journals, so I've been trying to think about using it a little more often again. I'm just gonna run it along the edge just for a little extra color on the back side. Hopefully that stays. It doesn't feel like it's very strong washi. I think I'm gonna just put a little bead of glue on this one. I just don't trust it. It seems like washi tape just doesn't have good adhesion on it for long term. So it never hurts to add just a little bit more glue. You know, we put all this work into making our journals and everything, and then just to have things fall apart right away is kind of disappointing. So it's always important to make sure you use the right kind of glues sometimes. All right, so I think that'll look cute up there. So let's see if I can get this to fit. I don't know if it'll 100% fit. I know it's too long this way, but I'm hoping that if I like cut out the words, that I will be able to glue them down. You know, you can always, if you're following along and you want to do, you know, you like the quote or something and you don't have that magazine in particular, you could just type it up on your computer, or if you have an alphabet stamp, you could write out your words too. So yeah, it doesn't fit that way. I know I could glue it down. I could glue it down under here too. This way it does fit. But do I really like that? You know, that'd be the easiest thing to do is to glue it that way. I think I can get all the words on here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go with what I originally had in mind. You know, and you don't have to do, it doesn't have to be perfect, which is one of the other reasons why I like to junk journal, is you don't, you know, often don't have to do too much measuring, and you can tear things up, and it doesn't have to be straight lines all the time. Okay, I kind of like that. I don't know what you guys think. I think I'm going to glue that down. Now I feel like I'm missing something here. But I think it'll work. Yeah, so I was talking about earlier about that mixed media class, and her name is Kat Rains, or Catherine Rains, I believe. And she does some mixed media stuff, and every year, I think at the beginning of the year, she offers like part of a class for free, a mixed media class. And so I did watch the videos. I haven't done all the lessons, but I did take notes on them. With working on this journal, I just didn't have a lot of time to do everything. And then you can pay to continue on with the class. It's just kind of like a little taster class. And so it's been kind of fun to watch a mixed media artist and learn a few different things. And, you know, some of the backgrounds that she's taught so far, I've done before way back when for card making, but just talking about layouts and choosing colors. And I think if you continue on with the class, she also talks about like how to mount your works when you make collage, because she's a collage artist. And like I said, it's been very, very fun. You know, the class is a little expensive if you want to continue on, but I think you're getting a lot of content for it and it's worth it. I mean, if you were to take like a college class on art and creating stuff, it would be, you know, a lot more expensive than what this class is. But what I found interesting, though, is that for some of her collage making that she does, she uses glue sticks, which I just found that kind of interesting, because my experience is there's certain brands I don't mind, like this Yoo-Hoo brand, and then there's like the Scotch Craft one that I'll use. But I'm usually pretty careful about what brands of glue sticks I use, unless it's just something, you know, like a card making or something. But if you're going to be using, making something that you want to last for a long time, I kind of, you know, worry about what kind of glue I'm using. And I know it's always important with glue sticks, if you are using them and you want them, like something that's gonna last for a long time, you just want to make sure that you're using like an archival quality one. So I just found that interesting. But again, it was just she has you on some of the days making like warm-up collages just to kind of get you going. So it's just like kind of like doing a little something in your journal or something, just to try something out. But it's not something that you're gonna put on the wall and frame or anything. So those were some of the ones that she was using the glue sticks for. So I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I just feel like this is missing something now, you know. This definitely has to go into there. Nope, that doesn't work. So might just have to leave it and call it good. If I come up with something else, you know, in my stash that, you know, like another little flower or something, I could add that. But I'm happy with that one. It's not really normally kind of what I would do, but sometimes when you work with different colors, you have different ideas in your head. So I do like that layout. It is fun to use little quotes and things that you find in magazines to use on your pages or your journal cards. So I think that's really cute. I really like that one for today. Which, you know, I wasn't sure if I was going to, just because it's so bright. But once in a while, it's fun to step out of what you normally like to do. Like this is more my style, definitely, on the back side that we did yesterday. But I do like how that one turned out. So again, that was Bright for the prompt. And I thank everybody so much for watching today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. You'll have to let me know what you think of it. I do appreciate your comments. And looking at tomorrow, I will be back for Bubble. So that one will be kind of interesting too. So tomorrow's prompt is Bubble. So thank you again, everybody, so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting.